In this video, we're going to show how to automate the process of making configuration changes on Cisco routers and switches. I have some previous videos on YouTube on Cisco IOS command automation, and the links are on the screen now. So, I have two terminal sessions running. On this host, I'm going to establish a link to my Cisco switch. This is linked to the actual console, and I'll log in and get to the privilege prompt. And if I show the running config, it's fairly basic config there. Now, of course, I could issue my configuration commands and make the changes to the configuration manually, but I like to do things in an automated way. So I'll use my Cisco commands expect script. And specify the host name. I'll use secure shell to log in. Username cadmin. The password, now I've already set up the password in an environment variable, so that's the syntax I use. And similarly, the enable password is set up in a similar way. And now I'm going to tell the script which is the name of the file that has the Cisco IOS commands which I want to issue. In this case, setdef gateway.cmd. Let's get it right. Slight typo. So, establishes a secure shell connection, logs in automatically, goes into the configure terminal mode, sets the default gateway, exits, copies the running config to the startup config, and logs out. And we can see on here on the console that we have a message that tells us that the configuration was changed by user C admin, which is exactly what we'd expect. So if we show the running config again, we can see down at the bottom we've now got the default gateway, and that wasn't there before. So let's look at this file. So in this file, lines which begin with two minus signs are simply indicate a comment, and they're ignored. They're just there for our actual documentation purposes. And blank lines as well are ignored. So the interesting stuff are these lines here. So on the left hand side we've got the prompt strings, which is basically what we're expecting the router prompt to be at a particular time, and on the right are the commands which get issued. So after the script is logged in, we've then got the hash prompt, and we issue the configure terminal command. We then have to put in the prompt which is in a config because we're in configuration mode, issue the IP default gateway, and then exit to come back out of the configuration mode, and then we do our copy running startup config command. That prompts us for the destination file name. So it's a little special bit of syntax here. That just means press the return key or carriage return, and then we end. So what other command files have I got? Well, we've got one for name servers, so let's have a look at that one. So again, it's very similar here, but what we're doing is we're setting the IP name servers. But actually what we do is we make sure there are no existing name servers, and then we set up the two name servers which we want. So that should be quite easy to run. So we just go back to our command and just specify a different command. So again, it logs in, issues the commands, builds the config, comes out, again, we get the message, show the running config, and there we go, that's our 2 configured name servers. So let's have a look at some of the other ones. There's a fairly chunky one, set port names. This one you can see issues the commands necessary to set descriptions on each of the ports. So you can see how this is going. So the script is basically doing a lot of typing for us, much faster than we could do it, and certainly more accurately. So again. And now we can see that all of the interfaces have got names. We can even set up some VLANs, so I can issue the necessary config commands to set up, say, 4 VLANs here and give them meaningful names. This is setting the VLANs is actually quite a good example, because setting your VLANs across multiple routers and switches is quite a common process. So once you've got the script here, you could then run it against each of your routers and switches in turn. And actually, just to show you how easy it is to run the script many times, I've got a very simple shell script here I'll just call it many.sh. We set up the variable name called switches, which is the list of all the switches which I want to deal with. I then go in a loop through each of those switch names, and then I run my Cisco commands with all the necessary arguments. But when it's asking for the host, I actually substitute in the switch name. So this is to set the default gateways. So if I just type this, what happens now is it logs into each switch and sets the default gateway. So you could easily just modify that many.sh script, or use it as the basis for your own scripts to do configurations on multiple switches. So I will leave it there for now. I hope you found it interesting, and thank you for watching.